Hey guys, Preston here. Welcome to the Wonder Woman review and spoiler talk all wrapped up in one video. This is long overdue as I watched it the Monday of its release week, probably like the 4th of, not of the 4th of June or something. But I rewatched it Thursday last week, so it's fresh in my mind again, so it's better for this review that I remember now. I guess we'll just get started. Wonder Woman was a really amazing. That was a really good movie, man. It was great, honestly. And I'll get to the score later because I'm sure when you watch the review, you don't want me to be like, "This is great, 10 out of 10, bye." So the whole movie. The setting was good. It fit a lot of. I know some people were worried about the World War I setting and how that'd play out. Like, if it'd be kind of dumb or anything. I think it worked. There's like one cinema sins scene I kind of saw because I believe. Now I could be wrong, but it felt like I'll have to rewatch. But in my mind, I thought most of the guys. There's a scene where soldiers are fighting and Trevor shoots two people back to back, but I thought that he had a bolt action, but he shot two consecutive. So I don't. That's nothing to worry about. That's just something I picked out in the movie. But like the action, speaking of action was really good in this movie. Did a great job with that. Everything, the cinematography was on point. The themes and the setting involved are amazing. Themyscira and World War I era, like London and the front line and stuff like that, all looked great. And obviously, it was night and day with the way they did it. They executed Themyscira right, that's the land where all the Amazon. So if you know Wonder Woman before she comes to the U.S., well, to man's world, because she doesn't come to the U.S. in this movie. Spoiler, I guess, but they did it right because they could have made it like, I don't know, corny or too unbelievable or not believable enough, and I feel like they found the right amount of like, yeah, this makes sense for them, and so it fit perfectly. It did make you question though, because like it was protected by like this bubble thing that just makes him invisible. But it's like, come on, you're telling me nothing sailed through there before, unless they just murder everyone that sails through there on accident. Either way, I'm thinking if you think too deep, you'll find some stuff. But if you just enjoy the movie, it's great. Even then the plot is solid, so it's nothing like they actually catch you off guard with something. Like, I didn't see it coming. And some of you will, but not fully, and I'll talk about that in the spoiler section. So there is I guess you could call it a twist, for say, with a character that's really cool in the movie. Chris Pine did a great job as Steve Trevor. He was very believable in the role, along with Gal Gadot. She did amazing as Wonder Woman. She played the part well, and she looks good, so that helps too. That was sexist. Don't worry about that. It's just true though, man. It's a very good looking movie. Hit me up. Okay, anyways. So the acting was good from everyone. I didn't have any problems with any of the acting. The soundtrack was great. They played the Wonder Woman scene for like more than once for like fight scenes, but it's so good that I was okay with it. You know, the one from Batman v Superman with the guitar and stuff. If you haven't heard it, just search Wonder Woman thing, Batman v Superman, because you'll find the old one for the TV show before it. That one's not bad either, but that's a completely different thing. So I said acting was good, soundtrack was good, or score, I guess. So it's really sounded. There's no like songs. It's all instrumental. Everything was just executed well. That's what you could say. The plot was solid. It was a solid superhero origins movie. It reminded me of Captain America, the first one, just because similar timepieces and stuff, and similar stories about like where they were and where they were now. I will say that Wonder Woman does not really explain. It's just inferred that she just stayed alive. She didn't die. I guess she doesn't age because she's a god or something. So they don't really do anything to be trying to fill in the gap between the transition to World War I and now, but you do know how she started, at least, which is still a cool movie regardless of that gap. There's a cool little scenes at the beginning and the end of the movie before, like in the present day, which is cool and hints at possibly some stuff with her and another character in the future. But nothing crazy. There's nothing like crazy Easter eggs. You're not going to be seeing other characters. There was that theory, I'm sure some of you have seen, about in a way they made Bane a possibility, and I'll talk about that in the spoiler section. But overall, this movie was really great. So I don't know how soundtrack. I'm gonna go 8. Acting, I'm like very easy with acting. I mean, so then to me that's a 10. So it's not. I mean, I guess a 9 just to be fair, because I'll save 10s for like Oscar-winning performances. They did a good job and they were believable. I wasn't like, I was watching it when you watch Trevor, you were like, wow, it's just Chris Pine, or same with Wonder Woman. I mean, obviously most people like the movie. It's racked in a ton of money and the reviews are good too. I'm gonna say overall I'm gonna give it a 9.2. 9.2 out of 10. That's high. It is high, but you realize I'm going off my whole scale is based off what I rated the first movie I reviewed, which was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I gave that an 8.7. So this is it's Guardians 2, no disrespect to it, but Wonder Woman is better in my opinion than Guardians 2. So that's why it gets a 9.2. If I would have been around to review Logan, that'd be my highest rated movie, but that came out in March and I wasn't doing movie reviews yet. By the way, the next movie I might be reviewing would probably be just Transformers. It's the only thing out like I'm semi-willing to watch until Spider-Man Homecoming, which there'll definitely be a review on that movie. So yeah, 9.2 out of 10. Now, guys, I'm going to switch over to talk some spoilers about what I was mentioned with the Bane thing, and more in depth about the start and end scenes, and some of the other stuff, how they didn't fill in the gap, or the twist specifically. Alright, so I'm going to give us 5 seconds for you guys to click off if you haven't seen it yet. It's been out for a while, but it's still in theaters, so maybe I don't expect everyone to have seen it yet. If you don't care about spoilers, or you've seen it and you just want to hear someone talk about it because you don't have no one to talk to about it, you will in 5 seconds. So, alright, welcome to the spoiler section for Wonder Woman. We're going to bring up some of the plot holes I was discussing and some of the big twist that if you've seen it, you know already, and the beginning and end scenes. So I guess we'll go in order with the beginning and end scenes. I just said they're cool little references. It was nothing crazy. I mean, it just started with the modern day, and it kind of explained why we were in World War I. It was just her telling the story to Bruce Wayne, so Batman reference, because he went through the trouble of finding her the original picture that she was searching for in Batman v Superman. So obviously you knew it was connected universe, but they wanted to make sure fully because they tied it in with that picture she was trying to get in BVS. So now she has that original, I believe is what it said, because Bruce Wayne found it. And so I was hinting at like they had a flirtatious thing going on in BVS, and then he went out of the way to do this. So obviously I think he's trying to make a move. And I feel like that relationship, Batman and Wonder Woman, hasn't been done much. It was done in like the Justice League animated show I watched as a kid. But other than that, it hasn't really been focused on. So it's an interesting change, and I'm not opposed to it. We'll just have to see how that plays out. That's not the whole part of the movie, though. So that was just like the beginning and end scenes, and that's how we got the story, because she emailed like him at the end too. So, I completely forgot to mention the character died. Wow. For the people that are watching the spoilers section and caught off guard once they watched the movie. Yeah, Steve Trevor dies in this movie, which explains nothing. I guess it doesn't explain anything, because even if he didn't die, he more than likely would not be alive in present day. Maybe he'd be alive, but like, super senior. So, he does die in the movie. He sacrifices himself to save everyone from the poison gas thing. Not like the whole world, but a lot of people. Him dying is like what in the plot that's like motivated Diana to fight back against Ares. So they did it when they went with the love route, I guess. I mean, it's a little corny, but I mean, it fit because the whole thing was about her seeing the potential in humanity. Because she started to realize, even Ares, once Ares told her that he doesn't force them to be bad, he just like whispers ideas in their ears as like he goes by and stuff, and so he just gives them ideas, and then they act on them, not him forcing them to act. They choose to act. Because we suck. Humanity sucks. So she realizes that, and then Ares, who, there was a big twist with that, because it was set up for you to believe Ares was the general, what's his face? I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. I don't care about that. But he's the main general you follow in this movie with Dr. Poison, and they make you believe he's going to be Ares, because even Wonder Woman believes it. And so when she kills him and nothing happens, you're like, oh, wow. Guess he's not. Either you're guessing he's not, or you just think, well, it just goes to show that killing Ares means nothing. But then the real Ares shows up, which is the twist, because the person you would believe to be Ares the whole time wasn't. And even if you did think it's a different Ares, you did not expect it to be the British guy, the British dude who gave him money to help him on the journey too. So that caught us off guard. I wasn't a big fan of him as Ares just because his look, he didn't fit. It was just like some scrawny British guy with a mustache, and I was like, you don't look like Ares, man. It's not cool. The suit, like they did, he made like a comic kind of reference, or at least like the first Injustice. Like if you played that game, that Ares, he looked like that. Once he like pushed the pieces of metal, like with the Force. It's like the Force. He just dragged pieces of metal onto his body to make the armor. Then he looked cool, but anytime he had like the helmet off or anything, you're like, come on, you don't look like Ares. That was the only casting problem I had, I guess, was him as Ares. Still, he played the part well enough where I wasn't like, wow, you ruined the whole movie for me, So the twist was cool. That was executed well. But even then, she does kill Ares at the end, I believe. It's like the story, I guess that you kind of seen stuff like it before, but they still executed it well. So they got a ragtag group of people, and they went to stop the poison gas that Dr. Poison made with the whisper from Ares, right? So she made it on her own, and with the general that people thought was Ares. And about the Bane thing, he got like the girl, Dr. Poison made like these gas things for him that he'd crack open and breathe in, and then like he just gets super strong. So a lot of people are trying to relate that to like the venom Bane uses, they're like saying it's an early version of Bane's venom, or saying that like so that's what Bane's gonna be. And who even knows if Bane's gonna be in the DCEU? If he is, I'm gonna be curious about what they make him look like, because the Dark Knight Rises version of Bane compared to the ones they use in the other movies are extremely different. So I guess it depends if they go with like a CGI mess, or they're gonna go with a more realistic, like Tom Hardy version, who did a really good job as Bane. Oh yeah, I forgot that Wonder Woman is by far the best DCEU movie, and you should definitely see it for sure. Even the other DCEU movies, they weren't as bad as the reviewers said, but they definitely weren't no masterpieces. I'd still have all of them around that like 6 or 7 out of 10 range. So this one definitely exceeds that. It's the best one so far in DCEU. I think, I don't know, probably the third best, for me anyways, the third best DC movie at all. I haven't seen the 80s Superman movies, which had like the highest reviews, the first 2 anyways, but so mine it'd be Dark Knight Rises, then Wonder Woman, and then you just fill it out, I guess Batman Begins, and then just randomly plug in the other ones. So it is definitely up there. It's definitely the best DCEU movie. It kind of rebirthed that connected universe and gave people hope in the Justice League. So I'm thinking more people can be excited for that movie. I'm excited regardless, because I don't think it's going to be the worst thing ever. I am curious, though, because it seems like Joss Whedon's changing a lot. This just became a talk about the DCEU. Let me know if you want to see that, actually. Just me talking about Marvel or DC stuff for a little bit in the video. But, so yeah, there's that, the Venom, and then the plot points I was talking about. So, she's getting beat by Ares, and then she's like, no, because Steve Trevor died, and then she's like, love is, like, they have love or something. She's like, I believe in love, and she was like, kind of like, to realize that humans aren't all bad because they saw what Steve did and what the other guys did. The side characters were fun, and they provided some of the comedy. A lot of the comedy was the fish out of water thing, like Diana getting used to being in our world, so like she'd walk around with the sword and shield out in the middle of London. So they're like, no, you can't do that, jokes like that. Or some of the other side characters were just funny with how they were portrayed. They did secretly kind of just, they didn't force it down your throat, and they did some nice little, I guess, emotional kind of stuff, but they didn't dab into it too much, specifically with PTSD. Obviously, in World War I, they didn't really know what that was, but they had Charlie, the marksman, obviously. He clearly had it, and so they mentioned it a little bit, like the Native American said he has nightmares and stuff, so he knew the kind of thing that'd be going on in his head. So it's this a little reference to the horrors of war, and they made sure you saw that a couple times with how gruesome this war really was, and a lot of us know that because we were taught about it and stuff, but getting to see just a slight hint at it in a live action version, it's kind of helps you see it more vividly, so they tried to make that very clear about this movie. That being said, Wonder Woman took out like an entire German trench almost single-handedly, so the fight scenes are great. She's like smashing through buildings and stuff. The fights from the trailer you saw, everything in this movie was executed well, so there's nothing to complain about. She does beat Ares, and then it just kind of ends at that, right? She won. They're at the end and landed with the war one, and she goes and looks at a picture of Steve on a board with a bunch of other dead people, and then it just cuts back to modern day, and she like jumps to go fight. So, yeah. Her first time flying shows up in this movie too when she's fighting Ares. Like, I guess she becomes even stronger during that movie because she starts off not as strong, and then like eventually when she's really mad and she's fighting Ares, she just stopped shrapnel like a couple feet in front of her, and it just disintegrated. So she went full bad A and just destroyed. So that was cool. Obviously, I feel like there has to be something that kind of dialed it down a bit, because you can't have her too overpowered in this, because I feel like how she did it, she could have just decimated Doomsday, but who knows? There has to be some explanation, maybe. Either way, I mean, I get it, though. I'm not going to pick too much into that. It feels like, oh, she beat a god. Why can't she beat Doomsday? It's like, you don't want it to. Can't have it be that easy. You can't just have Wonder Woman and Superman just handle everything all the time, So yeah, this was a great movie. Make sure you see it if you haven't, and obviously if you think the spoilers. Let me know what you think of the twist. Did you like the actor who ended up playing Ares? Did you think Steve Trevor dying was justified with the movie? Because I do. I wasn't mad about that. I was like, it fits with the scene. I kind of thought about it in the back of my mind like it was probably going to happen, because obviously he's not in modern day, so I don't know if I don't see the point in keeping him alive, because it's not like we're going to see him unless they plan on their sequel being another timepiece, but I believe they aren't. So I think the next Wonder Woman movie will be modern day. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry about how long this video is. I did a lot of rambling about non-Wonder Woman spoilers. Other than that, there's nothing else to say. Yeah, they didn't set up a sequel. They just kind of tied it in. They let you know her backstory. It's a nice one-off movie. That's probably what helped it, because like Batman v Superman tried to squeeze so much in with the Justice League. This movie did not do that. It just had a Bruce Wayne reference. That's all. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about Wonder Woman below, and stay tuned for my next movie review or any other of my uploads. This is KMA Preston signing out. See you later.